It's recording. And it'll what happens is it doesn't actually process it until we're after we're done, and then it'll
Yep.
ask me where I want to put it, and I'll just put it on the hard drive instead.
Great.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Hi everybody. Oh yeah, we're
How's it
recording
going?
right now.
Yeah. How's it going, patrons? How's it going,
That's
half
probably
marathon patrons, dude?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's probably one of the rare times where I actually did forget that we were recording.
There's a hot mic. Don't go to
Hot
the
mic, hot
bathroom.
mic.
This is a
Okay.
big bleeping deal. Remember
Let's
that?
do yeah. Yep. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's do this.
All right, here we go. Toy Story.
Toy Story, I'm ready.
Okay, super pumped. Here we go.
I'm not going to
Oh,
read the
sorry.
cold open.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Great.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, click.
Okay, you want to clap first?
Yep, I'll do it first and then you do it. This is a new
Okay.
thing we're trying, everybody. Okay,
We
just
found a way to make it more convoluted.
Your way was perfect, but it's not perfectly lined up.
Right. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
I'm ready.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
I heard that exactly right, by the way.
Yep, totally.
Okay, now I'm going to try.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Incredible. That was like a full second later. They're going to see that.
That's what I. So hopefully if we line those both up slightly off on the same offness.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be perfect.
Offness. On the same
Okay.
offness. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to Perfect Movie, a podcast hosted by two regular guys who went from couch to marathon, and now they're making their way back to the couch again. This is Anthony speaking, one of those two aforementioned Gomers, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, joined as always by my friend Steven, all the way out in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Shoot, I'm here. Sorry, I had to bend down because I want to show
You're
you
late.
something.
Okay.
I want to show you something to start the episode. I have a couple props, but I just want to show you this as we start the episode.
Oh, that is awesome. If you're a Patreon member, you're enjoying these props. Okay, so these are cowboy boots. There's a snake in my boots, I'm assuming. Make sure there's no snake in there.
Right.
Were those like Noah's, maybe?
They were both of our kids, right?
Okay.
It's one of these things that you get lucky and you have two of the same gender, right? And so then you can just everything gets passed down. So these are Buzz and Woody boots. They both wore them probably between the ages of 3 and 5. Just painfully cute. Do you know what I mean? Like they would wear these boots and they just had like shorts on.
Yep,
and like
totally.
They just wear them. They would dress themselves. One time Jack said, I want to dress myself to go to church. And so he put these Woody and Buzz cowboy boots. It's Woody and Buzz just being pals on the side of these cowboy boots. There's on the leather. I'm sure it's not leather itself. It actually says Buzz and Woody and the gang. And then there's little pictures. There's Rex, there's Ham, Slinky Dog, one of the aliens. Nothing that is Potato Head isn't on here. It's like all original creations, right?
Sure. So none of the like the pre-made,
none of the trademarked
copyrighted,
trademarked.
Which that's something when Aaron and I rewatched the movie last night with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I actually hadn't seen this movie in years. I've seen this is probably the longest since I've seen a Pixar, or I mean like a Toy Story, because we saw Toy Story 4 this summer or last summer.
Yeah.
And then when it came out on Disney Plus once. So we've seen that twice. Seen 3 a bunch of times. Seen 2 probably the most.
We got to talk about 2. My secret is that I'm so glad that Toy Story 1, our Pixar battle, because all I want to talk about is Toy Story 2. my favorite movie.
We're going to be fighting against that because Toy Story 2 and 3 are so good. So good. And 4. But it's like impossible to talk about those without this like game-changing movie. I've heard many liken it to Snow White and Star Wars.
Star Wars Episode
and,
4, right? Yeah.
Yep. Like as things that started something, started a genre, started a
changed
technique.
it in some significant way, and then
Yeah.
everything after it is different because of that movie.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
It's an original technique.
Yeah.
I mean like that's even one of the things I want to talk about is like almost like Buzz and Woody. There's like the old school and the new school.
Yeah.
And like this is totally like that. Like Buzz is like Pixar and Woody is like Disney. You know? Like
I love that.
It's almost like he was gonna like they were afraid. That's like,
yes.
I just watched the Pixar documentary again.
Yeah.
On it's on Netflix. It might be on Disney Plus as well.
Right.
But I think it was the seven animators.
Right.
What
yeah.
were
they called the Seven Dwarfs?
They weren't the seven, like the seven.
That's a different era of Disney when there were 7 guys. They were called the Seven Dwarves.
No, it's those guys, but
okay.
That's not what they called them. They had the 7. Maybe that's what they secretly called them or something. But like the 7 animators or this whatever.
Yeah.
And that was who taught these guys classes.
Right.
And so like I kind of think of them as like, and Disney was like really afraid. And I remember that time, like computers are taking over, right? Like it's almost meta about like computers in general. Like even on the Gomer One sheet, the net came out this year.
I love the net.
You know, like totally. It's like everything digital was almost futuristic and scary at the same time.
Yeah, I mean Sandra Bullock, who people always make fun of me for saying her name like that. I don't know why. That's how I read it. Sandra Bullock orders pizza online at the beginning of that movie, and I was like, "What?
Right?
That will never happen.
No way."
The reason I wanted to show you these little shoes, these little boots, is because I'm a little nervous about this episode because I know too much about Toy Story.
Sure.
And so I want to remind people if I get too heady or like, oh, well, actually, did you know that there is also this part of me that is deeply emotionally, inseparably connected to this movie on a gut, heart, father level.
Yes.
We have a full-size Buzz that was really important to us when the boys were growing up. I don't mean like man size, like 6 feet, but like the actual size that Buzz is in the movie was and is a favorite toy of my kids. This is going to be interesting to talk about too, though, because this movie came out when we were teenagers. I connected immediately with this movie as a teenage kid. Even though I was beyond toy age.
See, I want to ask you about that. Oh, by the way, I was just looking it up. They were Disney's. It was the 9 Old Men.
9 Old Men, right? Okay.
The 9 Old Men was the name of the animators that they
and they trained up like Don Bluth and Tim Burton, who Disney could not handle. Right? Like they actually just were like, this is too much. You got to go, bro. They kept Lasseter in that group.
Right. Totally.
So what were we talking about? Oh, when we saw it, we were beyond toy, like playing with toys. You don't do that when you're 17.
Right. Well, okay. That's what I wanted to ask you about. I can't remember that I saw this in the theaters, dude.
Okay.
Like, I think so. 1995. I would have November on the one sheet here.
You were a sophomore.
November 22nd, 1995. Yes, so I would have been a sophomore.
No, you'd been a junior.
You're right.
Because I graduated in May of 96, so this was my senior year, your junior year. I also remember that because I was between girlfriends.
Oh.
And so I didn't have a November 95. I was not dating anybody, and so I went to this
Dude,
movie with a group of friends.
that's
None
what
of
we
them were
should
my
put on the
girlfriend.
Gomer One sheet at the bottom. Top song. All I want to do is have some fun. And then who was Steven dating and who was Anthony dating in November of 1995?
I remember the girl I was pursuing
Uh-huh.
went to this movie the day after I did, and we had a phone conversation about it.
Okay.
Big deal in my life, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I
Like,
did see this movie in the
yeah.
theater. I remember doing so, but I wondered if you did or why you would,
Yeah, see,
because it's about toys.
this goes along with like my childhood movie-wise was different than yours.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine my parents bringing me to this.
Okay.
Like, I can't imagine my dad even knowing about it. Like, like maybe my mom would have been like, hey, but where did you even learn about stuff? Like, before the internet, like, how did you know about, like, there's this new thing called Pixar?
Okay.
Like,
I mean, I'll tell you where I learned about movies was the newspaper.
okay. And did you have like magazines, Entertainment Weekly, or?
We didn't get Entertainment Weekly, but we got, there must have been something else. I would often go to the bookstore and peruse the mags.
Okay, right.
And so
the
microfiche. I mean, maybe this will come as a surprise to listeners, but I was a real nerd. So I would read the entertainment section of the newspaper, the Capital Times. I think that's what we got, or maybe we got the Wisconsin. That's probably when we got the Wisconsin State Journal.
Sure.
I would just get that section and I would read the entire entertainment section of the Wisconsin State Journal every day.
Okay. And this is when I was just making bassoon reeds.
Like, you're sitting there on your water bed.
Which I painted like teal blue.
And so I was I'm beyond excited about Toy Story.
Yes. Okay. But you remember viscerally seeing it in the theater?
I remember being blown away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't remember my first screening of this.
Okay.
It's one of those that actually, it just is. It's like, I just always knew it or something.
Here's my theory, and you could tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. I wonder if your re-entering into Disney movies before you had kids was also connected to that friend that told you that Disney World was cool. And you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, great.
What?
I guess it Disney is.
Yeah, Disney World rules. Like,
because when you go to Disney World, dude, you hear that Randy Newman music pumping through.
You got a friend. I'm so excited. I hope you do a few impersonations. I was thinking about Randy Newman in my head, and I was like, I wonder if Steven can be like, do any of those.
That's one raspy voice.
Right? It is. Yep.
And sometimes that's my specialty, is the rasp.
Right. No, I was actually blown away. We have so many random things to talk about. This is going to be scattered but fun. That's part of the fun of the Gomers.
And it's not our fault, right? This was a listener's choice. You all chose this movie. You made your bed. Now lie in it. We are going to talk about everything we can possibly think about when it comes to Toy Story and Pixar. Yeah.
Randy Newman. I was amazed to see back in the day when I looked it up that he wrote the score. Yeah. And I was like, what?
He was a scorer first, right? I mean, the fact that he's known as a kids songwriter now is weird, because that's not what he was until Toy Story. It's crazy.
Okay. Oh, like he was but he was a singer-songwriter.
He was a singer-songwriter, then he started writing movie scores, and then Toy Story kind of changed everything.
Okay. You got a hand in me.
You got a hand. Like Danny Elfman also wasn't he in a band first? He was in, I can't think of the band name. Oingo Boingo, right. And then he started, it's a pretty similar Tim Burton timeline, right? Where Danny Elfman was a popular singer, then he's writing scores, and then he gets hooked up with Tim Burton and writes Nightmare Before Christmas, and then everything is like, that's Danny Elfman from then on.
He becomes Tim Burton's like muse.
Right.
Same.
Yeah.
So same thing. Alan Silvestri, jazz composer,
Mm-hmm.
and then writes his first movie score for Back to the Future. First orchestral score, blows
Right.
our minds. And then same thing for Johnny Williams, right? Like like a jazz piano player going to
Right.
Juilliard
Yep.
and kind of starts orchestrating and doing stuff for like Bernard Herrmann or something like that. Just
Yeah.
like it's almost like, how do you go to school for this stuff? It's like you almost have to stumble into it.
A
You
lot
know?
of this feels like, I mean, and this whole movie feels like a stumble into,
Yes,
you know,
totally.
like
Yeah,
the cold open said, it really was, and we'll get to it in some of the listener exhibits, which is a different thing that we're doing for the first time this
Yep.
week. It's a miracle that it happened, and it does feel like the stars aligned, and we just, as the general public, freaking lucked out that this
like
worked.
totally. Okay, I have a 4-word review of this movie, and it's using your categories.
Okay.
Here's my 4-word review of this movie: huge swing, home run.
I love it. And it's a sports analogy.
Yes, that's from Mr. Grauman.
Who will come up again in this episode, I think.
Yes.
Let's go to, I mean, obviously we have a lot we want to talk about. This is Perfect Movie, by the way. We're doing Toy Story today. It was a listener's choice. We pitted all 23 movies up against one another. The Patreons on the bonus disc subscribers, our Patreons, whittled it down to 4 for us. We pitted those 4 against each other. Maybe we should just mention what they were. It was Toy Story versus Incredibles was the first round of the semifinals. Second round of semifinals was Inside Out versus Finding Nemo. And then it ended up being Toy Story versus Finding Nemo, and Toy Story reigned supreme.
Yep. Just saying the titles, dude. Like there's if we could find like the episode when we talked about Toy Story 3. I mean, that's one of the cool things is that we've been doing this podcast for 12 years.
Right.
I went to Toy Story 3 before, you know, like Aaron and I were thinking about having a baby one day.
Huh.
And we were like thinking about, if I'm remembering the timing right, I freaking bawled through Toy Story 3. Like the entire movie. Like
it's something special for sure.
There's something about the sound. There's something about the heart. I mean, they keep talking about that in that documentary. Like Pixar was obsessed with, like, does this have enough heart? Like they weren't ever. Randy Newman said they were never afraid that it was going to be funny enough. They're like, we'll always be able to get the joke, but does it have heart?
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. It's so sentimental.
It's like so much heart is practically like bleeding on you.
I know. It's like it starts bleeding out of my eyes, like of tears. Like I hear Randy, like the sequence in Up, the opening of Up, and then the song in Toy Story 2. Just like it wrecks me.
Yeah, we can't go there today because I could do it. Yeah, I could do it 2 hours on When She Loved Me.
Oh gosh.
I was thinking about Toy Story 3 also because I was like, I brought my kids to that movie in the theater.
Right.
So Noah was 7. And Jack was, I guess he was 5. Could that be? That's incredible. And so I saw Toy Story 1 as a young punk, 17, betwixt girlfriends.
Right.
Then 1999 Toy Story 2 came and changed my life forever. And then by the time Toy Story 3 came out, I had 2 kids.
Yeah.
Who had just watched Toy Story 1 and 2 on loops their entire life. I mean, we have some videos where you can hear the DVD menu of Toy Story 2 playing in the background.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Totally.
Yep.
Or like beep-a-da-doo.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well, I
know?
think the Toy Story 2 one is Did-it-da-do-da-do,
Oh
Woody's
yeah.
Roundup. Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Because one is boo ba da ba ba da ba ba
That's
da
it.
do be ba da do do ga da da ga da dee ga da do
We
dee
should
ga da
do
like
a
oh
we should do a bonus episode on DVD menu screens. Rate
totally
them.
totally.
Yeah,
Should
and then
we?
Toy Story 4, of course, was just last year. Um,
Right.
and so
So.
it's not just a part of kind of the cultural DNA, but I
Mhm.
think families that um, started and grew up in the uh, the the 2000s,
Yep.
like life without Toy Story is unimaginable. It's everywhere and always has been everywhere. And so it's
Yep.
fun to talk about a movie like that and try to figure out, is it actually perfect, or has it just
Yes.
infiltrated enough that we just assume it is?
No, I texted you yesterday. I said, I believe this is a perfect movie. Like
Okay.
we're joking sometimes off podcasts, like, yeah, I mean, come on, Space Camp, like it rules. But
But
like
we know that's going to get a 30%, and I'm not even sure this is a good idea.
and I'm not sure that I'm gonna vote for it. But it's like but this, yeah, everything about it. Um yeah, I love looking at it in those timings though. Like,
Right.
so for me, high school, probably didn't see it, probably was like, I'm not gonna go to a maybe I would have gone with my sister or something like
Sure.
that.
Yeah. Yep.
Like
Your
I
younger
might
sister.
like maybe a family movie, and I would have been like the whole time trying to be like, I don't like it, but I'm like crying or something. Um Toy Story 2 ruled. Actually, Toy Story 2, I worked with a um autism project. Aaron and I both did for like 2 years. That was like one of my
Huh.
main jobs in college.
Right.
And
I
one of
remember.
my kids, we watched Toy Story 2 like 100 times.
Yeah.
And he had this thing called echolalia,
Okay.
which is like you're just basically constantly reciting either like song lyrics or movie
Sure. Yeah.
scripts, or you're saying things all the time. And so
Yep.
he would always be quoting Toy Story 2.
Hmm.
um I forgot, I just remember that literally right now. And then the
Wow.
other thing he
Yeah.
was always quoting was the lyrics to My Glorious from Delirious,
Oh, right.
because I
Yeah.
gave him that CD. um and then Toy Story 3, uh thinking about having kids, me and Aaron. And
Yep.
then Toy Story 4, actually that was the one that we got to bring Isla and Lily to last summer.
Right.
So that would have been 7 and 3 years old. They were.
Crazy. The same ages. It feels like
Hmm.
that my kids were around Toy Story 3 age. So yeah, you can almost like look at your life. I don't want to get too like,
Yeah.
but you could, for certain families, I think this is true, that you're like, oh, when did we see that movie? You were that age. And it's so
Yeah.
interesting that Toy Story is one of those things that has lasted so long and still remained relevant.
Right.
That can substitute for years. Like you're
Yeah.
like the
It
number
would
is
have.
not year, it's which Toy Story came out when.
Yeah. It's like yeah, you can and see where you were based on that. It would. I should have written down the release dates of all of them. Um but should we go to this Gomer one sheet here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So November 22nd, 1995, Toy Story is released
Yep.
1 year after The Lion King.
Okay.
Um, which, like, that fact alone blows my mind. Like, those, when I saw that, I was like, how are those two adjacent by only a year?
Well, and it's the same year as Pocahontas, right? Which I
Yep.
remember reading somewhere that Disney really thought Pocahontas was going to be its biggest blockbuster ever. Lion King was
Okay.
like a warm up to that, and then Lion King, I think, has definitely become part of the culture more than that.
Sure.
But it is interesting to think about Disney in conjunction with Pixar
Mm-hmm.
and what was coming out kind of opposite to
Right.
those.
Well, even when we watched the trailer, I want
Hmm.
to talk about that with you because I don't feel like they were even really selling it, dude.
Well, it
We
depends
watched
on
the
which trailer. There's a trailer that's like, the boys are back in town. The boys.
Oh, right.
But it's the toys are back in town. The toys are back in town. So they were like,
Yeah.
how do we even? How do we do this? How are we going to get people to want to see this weird thing we're making?
Yeah, well, yeah, the trailer that we watched last night, because we watched the original theatrical trailer before we watched the movie
Okay.
screening with us four, and I
Yeah.
was like, I don't think that they were trying. I don't know. It's not that they wanted it to fail, but I think Disney was like, yeah, we'll put it out, but like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be our flagship culture
No, they
shifting.
had no idea. They thought it's been made. Maybe we can make our money back on it. We're not going to do that much push for this.
And didn't Steve Jobs invest a ton in this, like 30
Yeah.
million or something, like of his own?
Ton. Basically, the entire reworking of it is because Steve Jobs was like, well, I'm really connecting with these guys making something in their garage. That's how I started. So I want to invest in this.
Right.
So yeah, it's a crazy story.
And I even remember
95. Just it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was.
That's 25 years ago. Good
Crazy.
math. Good math.
Yeah,
me.
pretty good at math.
I even remember Steve Jobs always talking about the new Pixar movie in all of his keynotes. Remember, he would always use clips.
Yeah, that's right. Whenever he would demonstrate a new screen, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at how good Ratatouille looks on this
Yeah.
iPhone 4.
You can download Pixar everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Budget was $30 million, probably mostly from Steve Jobs, or Disney or whoever.
Right.
Grossed at the box office 222 million domestic, 404 million worldwide. I heard something like the trilogy had grossed something like $1.8 billion.
I saw some ridiculous number about like the amount of money the intellectual property has brought in with like from rides and video games and toys, and it's something like $6 billion.
Dang.
And just it can't be stopped. So no wonder people are like, do we need a Toy Story 4? And Disney's like, yes. If you want to make a Toy Story 4, make a Toy Story 4. Why not collect another $2 billion?
Totally. And the fun straight to TV shorts, the 30-minute episodes.
Oh yeah, right, exactly.
Specials.
Yeah.
I mean, we love and eat up every single one of those. Bonnie freaking rules.
Yeah, you must connect with Bonnie differently than I do because you have girls, right? I mean, that must be a different kind of situation for you than me.
She is so funny. I can't think of the actress's name right now, but she was in Flight of the Conchords, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Like,
no, one of Bonnie's toys is
right.
What's her name from Flight of the Conchords? Yeah, I can't remember which toy it is. Yeah,
it's not Bonnie. You're totally right. But yeah, like one of the toys. I'm just like Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah. We'll get to voice casting for this one too. You can't not talk about voice casting when you talk about Toy Story, right?
That's another thing that's like lit up. I mean, we had Robin Williams.
Yep.
In Aladdin,
which I love. My favorite Robin Williams performance.
Right. Lots of famous people did stuff, but and maybe I'm remembering wrong, but it appears in my memory that this started that too, of like all celeb casts.
I think this might have been the first time where the voice cast was featured on the poster. So it said Hanks, Alan on the top. Toy Story.
Sure.
Where they were really selling that. Now maybe they were just like, maybe this will make us a couple more bucks if we do that. And now it's just like you see a poster for an animated movie and all of the stars are on there. It's a selling point. Yeah.
It's we don't want to hear. I put down in the cast Bill Farmer, who we love. He's the voice of Goofy. He's a major voice actor.
Have you seen those little dog shows on Disney Plus?
Of course, yes.
Yeah, those are fun.
I love, but he's one of those dudes though that he's a character actor, a lifetime Disney dude. But yeah, it's not the same now. It's Hanks, Alan, Ratzenberger. Right, like
that favorite of all children, Wallace Shawn as Rex.
I love him though. He
Me
is
too.
the best. He is
Yeah.
just one of those great voices.
Yep.
Okay. Awards, achievements. This won Lasseter and Pixar a Special Achievement Academy Award. There
Yeah.
was not yet a category for animated short.
Or
So
animated
this was,
feature.
excuse me, animated feature. Yep. So
Yeah.
like this was their way of being like, this should win something huge.
Well, and someday I don't think we'll have time for it on this set, but I'll tell you about the first ever animated short, animated feature Oscar, and how mad it made me and made me hate certain people. Okay, we'll talk about that some other time.
I know what you're talking about. It's Shrek versus Toy Story 2, right?
No, Shrek versus Monsters Inc.
Oh, yeah.
And
right,
when I saw Shrek win, oh boy, I never been so mad.
Almost as bad as when The Martian won Best Comedy or Musical Golden Globe.
Okay, yeah. Second only to them awarding The Martian the best comedy and musical. Give me a break.
Nominated for 3 Academy Awards that it didn't win, but Screenplay, Usual Suspects won instead. Original Song, the winner there was Colors of the Wind, Pocahontas, Alan Menken, and Stephen Schwartz. Amazing song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
I mean, like, Blue Corn Moon, yeah.
Just love imagining that blue corn moon.
Yep. Our girls have really connected with that movie in the last year, I want to say.
Interesting.
Like,
yeah,
we've watched that so many times. And then same score, Pocahontas won. I think that score is better than this, even though
I agree.
Newman kills it and it's great, and it's you can't have Toy Story without it. I still think that score is better. So that was a good choice.
Yeah.
Other movies released around the same time. This list is high school. It's like 93 for us.
I'm just looking through it. I think I saw most of these movies in the theater.
Yep, me too. Batman Forever. That movie sucked.
It's grown on me. I think I like the aesthetic. It's terrible, but it's grown on me.
That's Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah, it's Jim Carrey and what's his name from Fugitive?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Two-Face. Yeah, that's not his best role.
No.
Still, it's got good, and that's nipples. Like,
yeah, that's Schumacher's nipples, right? I mean, that's when the nipples come out in full effect.
Okay, I just highlighted a couple here. Dumb and Dumber, Billy Madison, Grumpy Old Men, The Santa Claus. That's got our Tim Allen, Disney adjacent. One I highlighted, and this is an important movie memory for me, and then we can go on, is Apollo 13.
Yep. Hanks.
We've got Tom Hanks in this. Right around here, he's got Forrest Gump, Apollo 13, Philadelphia, incredible run, big. But Apollo 13 is the last movie, we may have said this on the podcast before, that I went to with my family of 4, my nuclear family. We went to it.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
So we went to it the night before I went to like band camp.
Yep.
Or something like that. And that's the last time, because during that time is basically like when my parents decided they were getting a divorce.
Yep.
And so that's the last memory. I remember leaving that theater last time we did anything as a foursome.
I've never heard that before. So you've never talked about that on the podcast before. I don't think I've ever heard that.
Yep.
How does that make you like the movie?
I love that movie. Like,
right.
But it's like I remember walking out of it, like how if like when you have a traumatic event in your life, you know, you remember like details all around it.
Yeah.
That happened after it, but somehow it encapsulated that summer.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so deeply. So that's, but I love Apollo 13 and I love Tom Hanks. And I remember going to Forrest Gump with your brother and him running like Forrest Gump as fast as he could from Westtown Mall, or from the movie theater to Westtown Mall.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, well, that's Alex for you. If you want more of Alex, get the bonus disc, because he is a real gem on the Gomer Feud episode.
So fun.
It's so amazing. Let's I see Billy Crystal here. Let's wait to talk about
Okay.
Billy Crystal
Great.
because there are some evidences that we're going to go over.
Sure.
That's going to make a lot of sense. Let me read the VHS synopsis.
Okay. Before that, let me just mention Rotten Tomatoes. Critics 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Audience 92%.
Is Toy Story 3 also 100%? I think it's another one of these Toy Story facts that it's the only 2 in a series that have 100%.
Yep. I think that's right. And then Cars 2, 30% or something like that.
Come on. Frozen 2, 20%. Just kidding. Okay, here's what the back of the VHS says, and this is an actual picture of remember those like clamshells the Disney movies came in, those big plastic
Totally.
VHS covers. It's a picture of that. Disney takes you where no movie has gone before in creating this totally terrific Toy Story, the year's #1 box office smash. The first full-length feature film animated entirely on computers that captured audiences' hearts with a wonderful story that takes place inside an amazing 3-dimensional world. As 6-year-old Andy's favorite toy, Woody, Tom Hanks, a take-charge pull-string cowboy, was confident in his own role as room leader. But after Andy's birthday party, newcomer Buzz Lightyear, that's what my kids used to call him, Buzz Lightyear, Tim Allen, a flashy space ranger sporting laser action and pop-out wings, crash lands into Woody's world. Buzz instantly wins the admiration of Andy's other toys, igniting a rivalry that lands the duo inside the home of Sid, the toy-torturing boy next door. Can't wait to talk about Sid. To escape Sid's evil plans, Woody and Buzz must work together and realize they've got the perfect friend in each other. And then there's a lot of other stuff. Running time, 81 minutes. I checked the timestamp. It's 77 minutes before credits roll. That's a nice hour 17. So right away, I'm loving it. Rated G. Good news. It's in color. Even though it feels a little washed out, we will talk about how it looks, I think, when we get into the evidences.
Yes.
But I think for now, let's watch the trailer.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. One more thought.
My dream of dreams, dude, is that they remake Toy Story with Toy Story 4's animation.
We did this thing. We watched Toy Story a couple days ago, and then we watched Toy Story 2 because you gotta watch Toy Story 2. We did this thing that right after we were done watching Toy Story, we went to Toy Story 4 and watched the opening scene of Toy Story 4, and it is, I mean. It's almost embarrassing how good it shouldn't be. Do you remember the opening scene of Toy Story 4 is in the rain and they're doing this RC rescue and it's at night, which I don't think they could do well in Toy Story.
Right.
And so it's this jarring, like you shouldn't do that feeling.
Right.
How good it looks. Wowzers.
That's what I want to see.
I did some research on this, like, because I was thinking it's just ones and zeros.
Just upconvert. Just put it in the Blu-ray player.
Yeah. But I read a lot about it, and they're like, it doesn't work like that. You'd have to completely reanimate the entire thing. You'd have to start from scratch and do it all over again. We don't have a computer with the ones and zeros in it that you could just layer over Toy Story 4.
Okay. That's what I want. That Commander Data could do that.
Yeah. What about a live action one like Beauty and the Beast or whatever, starring Hermione?
Yeah. That makes more sense because those are actual people.
Yeah, I know.
Well, nah.
Of course. Except for you could have fooled me in 95. I was like, this looks like real things.
This looks like real until the dog and the baby come in.
No, that dog, demon spawn. The dog, the eyes aren't right. Okay, we got to get into the actual thing. This happened with Back to the Future also.
Right.
Our listeners' choices, this is going to happen. We have so much to say. But for now, let's watch the trailer. If you are a half marathon patron, you're going to watch this with us because we are videotaping this.
Yes.
But let's watch the trailer, we'll come back and we will put Toy Story on trial and decide if it is indeed a perfect movie. All right. Should we stop that?
Yeah, let's stop recording GarageBand. 1, 2, 3, stop. I'm at 3907. Save.
Yep. Great. Okay. Let me figure this out. Share screen.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd it go? It's gone. Oh, here it is.
You've got a friend in me.
You still there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep. You got a friend in me.
Hey.
I'm always afraid that they'll see me watch, my other videos or whatever. The people on.
Oh, right.
Will see like some other embarrassing thing I was watching. I mean, I've got nothing to hide. All right, you ready?
This isn't the one, but that's okay.
Oh, it's not?
Nope.
Which one did you watch?
Original theatrical trailer.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like 3 minutes long.
There it is.
Verizon knows how to build unlimited right. Start with America's most awarded network. Give people more plans to mix and match at a price built for everyone. Switch now and get a Verizon Stream TV on us to watch shows and movies in 4K. This is unlimited built right.
Cool. I love
For
that
anyone who's ever wondered what toys do when people aren't around.
The voiceover.
Hey, everybody.
Yep.
It's showtime.
Walt Disney Pictures invites you into a world where toys come to life.
Wow, cool. Let's go to my room, guys.
Reveler, Andy is coming upstairs. Andy's coming, everybody.
No.
Back to your places. Hurry. Did you see my ear? Out of my way.
Wow. Quick, break the space. This is where the spaceship lands.
Woody, the veteran.
Draw! Oh, got me again.
Listen to that music.
The rookie.
Have you been replaced?
Yeah,
no one's getting replaced.
Excuse me.
Lightyear to the rescue.
Oh, okay. Ooh, well.
That's insane.
mocking me, aren't you?
Ow!
What do you say I get someone else to watch the sheep tonight?
Hell
yeah. Don't even think about it, cowboy.
Two heroes ready for anything
I don't like confrontations.
except each other.
Whoa.
Hey, a laser. It's
It's
not a
fun.
laser. It's
The
a
movie's
little
fun.
light
It's
bulb
not
that
like
blinks.
this.
What's with
Listen to
him?
this. This is
Laser
like the
ending,
Fern.
guys. Come on.
But that's about to change. They've stepped over the edge and into the real world.
I think he bounced into Sid's yard.
He tortures toys. Where
Coloring
is your
is all
honor,
weird.
dirtbag? A good soldier never
dark.
leaves a man behind.
Where the name of the game is survival.
I'm lost. It was all your fault. My fault?
I've set my laser to kill.
You're a toy. Use your karate chop action. Stop that. What's going on down there?
Come in, Star Command. Send reinforcements.
You are a toy.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Where's that would-be cowboy dog?
All right, man. Move. There's no place like home. Come on, this way.
Negative. You'll be much safer in the cockpit. What an idiot. Great idea, Woody. To
Yeah.
infinity
And this was the problem.
Walt Disney
Is that
Pictures
the movie
presents
used to
the
be me?
first ever computer animated motion picture.
We've got trouble.
Here we go. Toys are back in town.
This holiday season, take off on an adventure
This cannot be happening to me.
beyond imagination.
Sheriff, this is no time to panic.
This is the perfect time to panic.
It's the story of two partners discovering what they're made of.
I'm okay. Catch this! I got it, Woody.
Next stop, Andy.
To infinity and beyond!
Toy Story.
Look out! Buzz, will you get up here and give me a hand? That's very funny, Buzz. This is serious!
Okay. I don't even think. I don't want to put the audio of that on the
No, that's fine. We can put a way better one in high res up.
Okay, great.
But I wanted you to see that.
Something's happening. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's nuts because I think that was the issue. Was the first cut of the movie was so mean and bad that they had to redo the entire thing. And they're still promoting it in that wrong way. Okay, let's keep recording.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, click.
You have your LaCroix?
I do.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Crazy. Okay. All rise.
Hey, how's it going over there? Oh gosh, I love this movie. I love hanging out with John Ratzenberger over at Cheers. Oh jeez.
Yeah, this also holds a special Cheers place in your heart, right?
Cheers, top favorite sitcom of all time for me. Watched all 11 seasons.
Wow.
When I was in Cleveland.
I remember, yeah. And Ratzenberger is like their good luck charm, right? Like, so he's in all the Pixar movies. Yeah.
He makes, and isn't he like double speed in some movie? There's a movie where he's in it, but you can't tell, but you can tell.
Oh.
Maybe
might be
Bug's Life. He's an ant or something.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, the voice cast's great. We'll get to that. Listen, this is the trial.
Yep.
You, the listener, picked this movie for us. We usually have a list of movies we love. We choose one of those movies. We put it on trial. We each get a couple pieces of evidence apiece. This time, the listeners not only chose the movie, but they gave us the evidences, which was so nice, dude, not to have to come up with them ourselves.
That was great. And you know what? They did a killer job of it.
Yeah. Yep. We got a ton of pieces of evidence. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to cram as many of them in. This is going to be like a lightning round where we're just going to read a bunch of pieces of evidences. We're going to talk about them. If at the end, what happens at the end is we get there are 3 votes. And if all 3 are yes, then it's perfect. Anthony gets a vote. I get a vote. That will be revealed on a future episode. And the listeners get a vote. If the movie's perfect, it goes on a flash drive, goes into V'ger, goes up into space. It leaves this mortal coil. The xenomorphs pick it up, and they become good little boys and girls because of the amazing movies that they're watching. There's some xenomorph stuff in this movie.
Totally, dude. Oh yeah, maybe the claw. Does the claw have anything to do with this? Like selecting of of movies? Like, is this movie going to be selected by the claw?
There's a machine, and there's just movies in there. It can't quite get A Few Good Men in. Nope. Doesn't quite work. Galaxy Quest, not quite. But maybe Toy Story. Who knows? But like in Pizza Planet, there's like that part, right? Instead of the whack-a-mole, it's the chest bursters coming out.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think they're getting Slurpees from alien heads. I think those are supposed to be xenomorph. They're modeled after xenomorph heads.
That is funny. Okay, I missed what you were saying about that, but I get it now. And also the idea of picking up a perfect movie, you need 3. Like the claw has 3 prongs.
Great. I actually think there are 4 prongs, aren't there?
Oh, okay. I feel like 1 is really weak though. Every time you try that, there's 2 good prongs and 1 weak one, and it just like lets go. How he got Buzz Lightyear.
I think that's a purposeful thing. Now that I think about it, I watched a YouTube video once about like how to win at claw game or something. And remember, one of them is always weak.
Oh.
Anyways, we're gonna put Toy Story on trial.
Yes.
So nice that we don't have to do our own evidences. We are just going to read through some of these things. A lot of pieces of evidence that our listeners sent in. And I put them in categories because I can't not do this stuff. I'm sorry, I have a problem.
Nope, that's great. You're the trellis maker, and I'm
Yeah.
like the trellis like smasher. But I love
Come
them.
through with a shovel and smash that trellis down.
But trellises lead to fruitfulness, so
Okay,
I'm
great.
learning to use them.
So, should we go into the trial? Exhibits from the nation.
Do it. Great.
The first category, I just had general great things.
Okay. Awesome.
Um,
Should we get out our thing
I
here?
never even thought we should chunk in on behalf of them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not going to work because they can't chunk in. They're listening to this in the future. So
Right.
to be present to them completely, we need to chunk in for them. Now I'm just babbling so that I can find the sound on my phone.
I can't find it either. Dang it.
I got it. I'll chunk in. I'll be
Okay.
the chunker.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's go. We're gonna do this. First piece of evidence is from Cullen.
Okay.
He says this. First 3D animated feature-length movie. With all the development trouble it had, it's a miracle it came out as great as it did. So this is my kind of evidence, right? It's like you were saying, big swing, home run, but I like that the odds were set against it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody thought this thing was going to work.
Totally.
And then not only does it work, it's the biggest hit of the year.
Yep.
And I mean, we'll get to another category of things that it started, but it changes a lot of things, just about the movies in general.
Yep.
And so I love a first. I
yeah.
really love a first.
Totally. Other firsts that we talked about at the top: Sleeping Beauty, first animated feature; Star Wars, first like blockbuster sci-fi. I mean, what it did for sci-fi.
Right.
We could put Alien up there too. Remember, with first of like the
like dirty, grimy, sci-fi horror movie in space kind of thing.
Yeah. Dystopian view of future in space instead of like everything's glossy.
Right.
I think When Harry Met Sally is up there in like the just the
like
rom-com.
nothing much happens rom-com, right? Like it's mostly just two people talking to each other, and for some reason you can't get enough rom-com.
Right. Totally.
I would probably put Jaws in there.
Yes.
Yep. Like that was kind of the first summer blockbuster. Where they were like, oh, people like to come to the movies in the summer.
Yeah.
Maybe we should keep putting movies out in the summer.
Totally.
Yeah. So I wanted to start with that piece of evidence. It really is not much about the movie itself, besides the fact that it tried things that had never been done before. And you just got to love a first. You got to stand back and say they did it. It's amazing.
Right. And it's not like they could rely on, like Google search how to make this or like program this. It's like they had computer programmers like in their writing software for them. You know, like they're inventing it on the fly. Like I think it was John Lasseter was saying like the art would challenge the technology and then the technology would inspire the art. And it was like this insane like spiral of just like you kept making the tech better so that you could tell a better story. And then you'd get super pumped about that. Actually, I wanted to say one thing about that. I meant to say this during the 9 animators.
Okay.
And it's like they were afraid, not just them, but just like everybody, computers are going to take over. And I saw, it wasn't in that, it was somebody else said, maybe in the documentary, that we're afraid because it was Disney, like Roy Disney, the son, maybe.
Yeah.
Computers are going to be making movies. And
so the actual computers, there would be no humans involved. Is that what he mean?
Right.
Like eventually Matrix style, they are going to take over.
Right.
And then we are dead.
Right. And like the thing is, and now we know on the other side of the digital revolution
Right.
It's not computers that are making the movies.
No.
It's still the artists. It's still the storytellers. And it was just kind of an interesting time capsule to hear him say that, like, basically we're afraid of computers taking over. But again, it's still art. It's still a story.
It reminds me of Jurassic Park, which is another one of these firsts that I think, right? Yep. Where I think Phil Tippett is his name. The guy that was like, we'll do it stop motion. And then he saw Jurassic Park was 93, 2 years before this.
That's nuts.
Isn't that insane?
Huh.
Like,
yeah.
It just and him saying, well, I'm extinct, I think is what he said when he saw the reel of the CGI dinosaurs. But then he just moved on to doing that instead. And the way I heard them talk about the kind of computer animation that they do in Toy Story is it's like stop motion, but instead of the model being in front of you and you move it a little bit, like in Nightmare Before Christmas, you're doing all that in computer, right? You're just moving the arm a little bit and then taking another shot. You're moving the arm a little bit and taking another shot.
Screenshot, Microsoft Paint.
Control-Shift-4, move it, and it goes click really loud like a camera lens.
Have you ever taken a screenshot of something like on your phone and it sounded like you were taking a picture of somebody?
Yes.
Like in an embarrassing situation?
Yes. So sometimes I will do that on Zoom, and it'll be like click really loud, and I'm like, sorry, I just took a picture of you.
Right.
How embarrassing.
Totally.
Okay, so that's Collins. I think is a great piece of evidence. It is a first, and it's an undeniable first. Sometimes there are first flops. This was not one. And then Jenny said it spans generations. We already talked about this, I think, a little bit. Adults and kids love the characters. There's something about these characters.
Yep.
That just it doesn't age.
Yep.
You're watching Toy Story 1, and the characters work today like they did 25 years ago.
Totally.
I don't know how they did it.
I know.
Maybe it's Joss Whedon is just that good of a writer.
Yep.
That he just knows how to write timeless characters. But I think that it's just never gone away. How relatable. Is it because they're toys?
I don't know. Like, I'm exactly there with you. Like, not only is it timeless, although like the only thing that dates it, just like in Home Alone, is like the actual look of it.
Yeah.
Score helps ground it. That classical score is timeless.
Yep.
But then also what she was saying is adults and kids, like it spans generations. So not only is it timeless, but it's like for anybody. Like I remember the last movie I brought my grandma Churchill to. She was 95. We went to
Mad
see
Max
Wall-E.
Fury Road, right?
Yeah, Mad Max.
A timeless classic for kids and adults.
Right. Oops, sorry about that. Amateur mistake. I was trying to show a screenshot. Sound effect. Nope. We brought my grandma to see Wall-E in the theater. That's the last movie she saw in the theater.
Yeah.
I remember it took her about 30 minutes to get from the parking lot because she had a walker.
Yeah.
She would walk for 5 steps and stop. But that was the last movie that she saw in the theaters, and she really liked it. So like just this idea of like it spans generations. Like they made these, like I think about like Thomas the Train. Like we love those movies with our kids, but it's like Aaron and I are like, get real, man. Like I love
you got to see Ant-Man. You'll love Thomas the Train again.
Right. I know. But like I love King Stephen. I love when they're looking for his crown. But like the music's cheesy. Yeah. But it's meant for little kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this somehow hits the same kid audience, but also a 95-year-old grandma can love it.
I think there's another category of movies that tries to do this and fails. So we saw that Scoob was on HBO Max. And we're like, let's try to watch Scoob.
Yeah.
Dump truck. offensively bad. But the problem was it was trying to make like hip jokes. But the issue is you're making this, you're writing this movie 3 years before it comes out because it's an animated movie and that's how long it takes. Right.
Yes. Okay,
and so
right.
any relevant, I mean, they're hip flossing. A hip flossing? Give me a break. That's 2017. Shut up. Scoob.
The floss is forever going to be funny to me because I can't do it.
I mean, Sonic is flossing, right? Those movies were obviously written so long ago.
Yeah.
They don't try to do the DreamWorks thing where it's like, get this reference. There's a little of that, I think, in Toy Story, but they avoid it for the most part, and I think that helps with the timeless quality of it.
Okay. And then they
don't
have
watch
that
Scoob. Don't watch Scoob. There's no heart.
Okay. It's almost like woven into the DNA though of Pixar. It's like, the core mission statement, core values, whatever kind of like corporate speak you want to have. It's like heart. If this doesn't speak to the heart, we don't want to make it.
Right.
And it's like that is number one. Does it tell a great story? Does it have great heart?
Yeah, and so then when you throw in the fact that it was the first computer animated movie, I think that adds to the awe of it because they could have just written that, right? It's the first computer animated movie. Isn't this cool? And made a bunch of money. But the fact that it's one of the best movies.
Yeah.
I was going to say kids movies, but Jenny's
hold on.
Is
I
it's
stopped
for
recording.
Kids and adults.
Crap. I stopped recording.
Okay.
Stop.
I
stopped recording. Crap. Sorry.
When did you?
Hold on. I just got a phone call. I don't know if that did it.
Okay.
Hold on.
Where was it? What timestamp?
54:45. I said, does it tell a great story? Does it have a great heart?
Okay. And then I said the thing about how it's an animated movie. Or it could have written on the... So should I say that again?
Yep. No, play your thing and tell me where to go from there. Or do you want to say...
I've got 54:44 on the dot. Let's start there. And I'll say that thing over again.
Can you start at 54:45? Because I say, does it have a great heart right there?
Yep.
Start at 54:45 sharp.
Got it.
We'll still do claps though.
Great.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, click. Okay. Just do one clap. It's fine.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Does it have a great story? Does it have a great heart?
Yeah, and then when you add the fact that it's the first ever completely computer animated feature, which it could have just written on that fact and made money.
Sure.
But that it's also so brilliantly written. I think that's why when I saw it in the theater, I was like, that really is like nothing I've ever seen before. And it was good.
Yes, that's where it is. That's why we're still talking about it. Actually, we'd still be talking about it if it wasn't good because it probably wouldn't have been on the podcast though.
No, right. Like, we wouldn't be talking about it on this. I mean, we're not talking about Scoob. We did talk about Scoob.
Yeah, but
not
it would be
way.
like that. It would be like we would be talking about Toy Story 2 and we would be referencing Toy Story 1 as the beginning. Not as like
but it wasn't that good. I mean, it's really amazing that we're able to take a first and put it on in the running for this list.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Hope you like it, Xenomorphs.
They're going to love it. If this goes up there, they're going to love this movie. The next category I have is the creative idea of the movie. So a lot of people said this. So I'll chunk in for all of them. Sass Spalding 3 says, the universal theme of kids thinking their toys have feelings. And then Amy wrote, I love imagining that my toys didn't just sit there while I was gone, that they loved me as much as I loved them. Now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Were you this kind of kid where you ascribed feeling lives to inanimate objects?
Totally. Like sentience. Like Absolutely. Like when I was like, even when I was trying my new bassoon,
Yeah.
which is right there. There it
Yep.
is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's listening. That's so dumb. But like when I was trying my new bassoon,
this is happening now. You still do
like
this?
my old bassoon was in the room, and I would try it, and I'd be like, "I'm sorry, like
You're apologizing to your bassoons. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that with kids. Sorry, kids stuff.
Do they really have feelings, kids? I don't know.
Right. With toys as a kid,
Yeah.
like
Right.
when they like, I really relate to when she told Andy you can only bring one toy.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he doesn't look for Buzz long enough. That there's 2 plot holes in this that I'll say stricken from the record.
I have 2 stricken from the records as well. We'll get to them eventually. Yeah.
Okay, good. He doesn't look long enough for Buzz.
Okay.
And if it were my kids, we wouldn't have been able to leave without Buzz.
Yeah. That's a great point. You can't just leave.
Right.
When your kid can't find a toy. That's like the tragedy of their existence.
I know, it's like impossible. Like you're not leaving. Like so there's that.
There's the leaving when he goes to Pizza Planet. Then they're actually moving, and he doesn't have his toys. I mean, that would be here's my second prop that I have right here.
Okay.
Here's this is Bear.
Oh.
This is Noah's toy.
Hmm.
You can tell it's worn. The eye, like he held it like this. I'm showing that, like where he would rub the eye. Right. And so you can tell that's rubbed. It's so worn. The fur isn't furry. Like we saw a new one of these in the store and it looks like puffy, this like shaved almost. But one time when we were in Wisconsin, he was 6, I think. And we were on the plane and he realized he didn't have Bear.
Oh man.
And thank you, Jesus. It was still back at his Aunt Bethany's house and they sent it to him.
Yeah.
But it was like the world was ending.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sorry, no, I'm going to tell. It was in his bed. I just found it in his bed. He's still, it's still a part of his life. Whether it was, I mean, but there's this thing that our listeners are saying that is like, you care about your toys in this insane, crazy way.
Totally.
And to make a movie about that where they honor that is like, dang, what an amazing idea.
I know. See, I think that'll go to college with him, dude.
Yep, probably.
That'll go to college with him.
Mm-hmm.
Which the goodbye scene in Toy Story 3,
mm-hmm.
when he talks about, like, I'm literally crying right now, dude. Like when Bonnie, right?
Yeah.
When he's showing that ending epilogue where he's like, and this is Woody,
mm-hmm.
like, dude, one of the best scenes of any movie of all time.
And it's the same voice actor, right? That like that kid grew up and they hired him back.
Dang.
Give me a break, Pixar. That's too much.
You're too good. I'm gonna grab I have actually one up here too, dude.
Okay. A little Thomas.
Yep. So this actually isn't the original. We had 4 of these.
Okay.
But Lily's absolute favorite toy. We have hers downstairs, and we got a couple of them. But this was just a bonus one, and I just have a couple toys up here for fun in my studio. But yeah,
built by those sturdy Belgians, right? I mean, it's a Belgian toy, isn't it? I mean, those things don't break.
No, it's like incredible.
Yep.
It's incredible wood craftsmanship, beautiful painting.
Yeah.
The axles will never break.
Right.
This was Lily's like that. Like she held it. You can see her one is just completely worn, which is one of those details they did so well in this movie, like the wearing of like the doors of the like just the detail is so incredible.
Yeah. So I think the fact that I'm going back to Jenny's comment now that adults and kids love the characters, I think it's because it of any movie that I can think of, it's got this built-in relatability because everybody had toys, everybody loved their toys, And probably most people wondered, if I leave the room,
Yeah.
is something going on in there? What's going on in there?
What's going? Yeah. Totally. Were they alive? I mean, like, were they waiting for you to come back?
Right.
Like I love that idea of like, I love the loyalty of Woody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one of the things. Like, he's what's the loyalist on the Enneagram? Like an 8 or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, he's like, I have his name.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we get into some spiritual stuff
right,
there,
of
but
course.
like, his name is stamped on my foot. You know, like.
Yeah. Did Andy ever wonder why the bottoms of the feet were particularly worn? Right? Like, why do I have to keep sharpieing my name on the bottoms of the feet of my toys? Totally. Walking around, bro.
Yeah. That was one of those things we always wanted to do when we went to Disney World, was like that thing, you know, you're supposed to be able to say Andy's coming.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And they would freeze or fall over or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually never tried it.
No.
But I had heard that they had stopped doing that at some point. So it was like people were doing it all the time, and it was like,
well, and now they've walled off all the characters. You know what I mean? So they're not just walking around anymore. You have to wait in an hour line to meet Buzz, especially a character like Buzz or Woody.
I'm going to put some pictures of that up.
Just so you know, I looked on the bottom of this boot, and look.
Oh, man.
It says Andy on the bottom of the boot. That's pretty good. I never noticed that before.
Wow.
Okay. I think even as we're talking, like, we have a story, a personal story about everything that we see in the movie.
Yep.
They struck gold with it, right? Yeah, and the fact that they got some actual trademarked toys like Potato Head, mixing in with some of their original creations just adds to that reality as well.
Yeah, I love that. Like, you see Candyland, you see the Speak and Spell, you see the erase, the Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh, right. Yep. And some of them are more sentient than others, right? Like,
sure. RC.
There's some of them have one job, like Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah.
And then other of them are really capable of intricate problem-solving thought, like a Woody or a Buzz. You know what? I love rules. I just love rules. And so the universe is so based on interesting rules about all this stuff. That might be why I connected to it even when I was 17. Like, they're doing such a good job at laying out how all of this works.
Yeah. See, and it was a great movie. That's why I think you did resonate with it at 17. And I wasn't able to understand maybe like the it's for every age.
Yeah, right.
Sort of thing about it. Like, I was probably like, that was made for this age group. I am no longer in that age group. Give me Star Trek Generations.
Well, and I was watching Aladdin 3 times in the theater. I don't know why.
Right.
Don't know why. We went to every Disney movie. We just went to a lot of movies. And so Beauty and the Beast was an incredible experience for me. I think that might be a first also we could put on, or maybe Little Mermaid. I don't know. But like,
oh yeah.
Just appreciating the story and the artistic kind of the thing I was seeing in front of me. And I just was never a cynical moviegoer. Like, I'll take all comers. Yeah.
Until now. When did that happen?
What happened to you?
Because I was the opposite, right? I was like, Disney, stupid, cynical. Like, give me another Jim Carrey movie or Dumb and Dumber over and over again, or Star Trek.
Yeah.
Although you liked that stuff too, but now I'm like, definitely. I like everything.
I was a big Ace Ventura fan.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay. So a very relatable, creative idea for a movie. The next category I'm calling Buzz and Woody. My kids used to call Toy Story 2 Buzz-a-Woody. And I don't know if this happens to you, but at night when you run out of stories to tell, you just tell them plots of movies.
Sure.
And so they would ask for Buzz or Woody, and I would tell them the story of Toy Story 2 until they fell asleep or until I fell asleep.
Oh, that rules.
Yeah.
That rules.
I love Toy Story 2. When you watch Toy Story 1, you forget that it's really just those two for most of the movie.
Yep. It's I was thinking about that yesterday. Like, who is this movie about? Buzz or Woody?
Yeah.
But it's about them, right? It's about their like coming to terms with,
right.
Maybe it's okay to have a win-win.
Yep.
Or it's okay.
Oh, that's good.
It's okay for for Andy to love both of them, and
right.
it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be I have to be on I have to be the winner, you have to be the loser. Like, even at the end, Buzz or Woody says Buzz's tagline.
Yep.
To infinity and beyond.
Yep.
And then they have to use each other's powers. Like he had him using the helmet.
Right.
To burn to light the match. Super cool.
Right. So Carrie wrote a perfect movie about friendship. Do they become friends?
Yeah, definitely.
But I think most of them becoming friends is off camera. I think what they really learn is to not be. It's not as fun to say, Carrie, but I think it's mostly a movie about them not being enemies, or what you're saying, which is accepting the fact that they can coexist.
Sure.
And they don't have to compete with one another. Now, it's Woody's fault. Buzz isn't competing. Yeah. Woody is kind of a D in this movie for most of the time, right? He's
totally.
He murders.
Right.
Buzz.
He's like tries to kill him.
And so I don't know who the movie is about. I guess the movie's about Woody, right?
Yeah. Dude, but that's an existential question though. Could he kill him? Like,
he wanted to get rid of him. Yeah, you're right. He didn't want to kill him. Sid kills Combat Carl pretty clearly with the firework.
Right. I'm just saying, if you find a toy, like, is it still alive? Does it have a soul?
In this universe, I guess so. But in Sid's room, I would, if I was putting evidences, I would put the scene in Sid's room as why I think this movie is perfect, because it's terrifying. And I think the best kids movies have a part that scares you.
Okay, this is super interesting, dude. Okay, in our family,
yeah,
Lily couldn't watch that scene.
Okay. Yeah.
We had to always skip that scene. I'm sure there's tons of other families that sometimes Princess and the Frog.
Sure. There's a scary the bad guy is really scary in Princess and the Frog.
Yeah. And we were we were sort of like, why do you have to do that?
Yeah.
These are just kids movies. So there's a gauge of what's the scariest part of a movie and can we watch it?
Yeah.
Has been I remember we went to Phantasmic or whatever that light and lightning fireworks show at Disney World. And
at Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
Is it the one on the water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a 5-minute dark scene.
Oh yeah, Satan comes in that movie. In that show, I think.
Yes.
I can't remember what. I think it's from Sleeping Beauty, or it's a very, very scary bad guy.
Yep,
Dragon,
very scary
Satan kind of thing. Yep.
Yep. So she was 2 or 3, and I remember that freaking her out.
Yeah. Yep.
We're like, oh man. So, but at the same time, can we just make everything nice? Right? The old fairy tales are super dark.
Yeah. And so you're getting toward my feeling, which is I think there needs to be something pretty scary in a kids movie to make it perfect for me. You have to actually feel you have to feel like you're in the real world. And this is scary. I love that.
Okay.
I think Baby Doll, I think, is the name of the creature that is particularly scary in Toy Story that has the baby doll head with the shaved, and you can see through one eye into the back of its head, and it has the erector set spider legs.
Yeah.
A terrifying creation that I would probably pay $100 for a toy of. Actually,
Yeah.
2 nights ago when we were watching, I was like, Jack, can you make me a baby doll? And he's like, I think I could figure that out. So I think he might be trying to make me one.
I have a friend. She's an incredible English horn player. Like one of the best musicians I know. And she makes art like that.
Oh, wow.
Like she makes this, like, it's very, like, it seems disturbing at first.
Yeah.
But it's like with baby dolls or with like stuff that looks like body stuff or like it's but she
cool. I want her number.
No, I'll share her Instagram account with her because it is incredible. But it's kind of along the lines of the Tim Burton kind of like look.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah, the like
and so I would
dark,
actually say Pee-wee's Big Adventure has a very scary dream sequence in it.
Yeah.
And I don't think
Large
the movie is
Marge
perfect without it. Large Marge is Large Marge, which I used to be terrified of. I'd have to close my eyes. I think Large Marge completes that movie.
It's like it was the Dark Overlord in Howard the Duck for me.
Ooh, that is scary.
Freaked me out, dude.
I haven't thought about Howard the Duck in a long time. But yes, I remember that is No, it's Leah Thompson.
Oh, that's weird that my brain did that.
Yeah, that is weird.
That is
She is the love interest. And I believe there is a skippable scene between Leah Thompson and Howard the Duck in that movie.
Okay. Oh my God.
George Lucas. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's go all the way back to the fact that do they have sentience? Those toys underneath Sid's bed have lost speech, but they're still sentient.
Yep.
And this I love this stuff, man. I love the rules, right?
That's
and so there must be some sort of like, if you're destroyed in a certain way, and you're put back together, then you lose something. I don't know. But anyways, Woody does try to destroy Buzz in the movie.
Right.
By the end of the movie, they are friends. We see that Christmas scene and they're friends.
Right.
I think something has happened between the kind of car chase scene and that to really bring the friendship out. But I like the fact that it's basically like, can we coexist? And they decide, yes, we can. And in fact, we can work together, like you were saying, use each other's strengths to solve problems.
Yes. Is there animosity between them in 2, 3, and 4? I can't remember.
No, almost. I mean, almost none. They've got like an eye rolling relationship sometimes.
Sure, yeah.
But by the time Toy Story 2 comes, they are the buddies that they have become on this boot, right? And in all the images from then on, they are not enemies ever again.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, though.
So Tim says it's a buddy comedy. Totally. It's very like Planes, Trains, Tommy Boy.
Right. Totally. Old school, new school. It's like Mac PC. You know, it's like this could be Justin Long. Well, kind of Justin Long and that other dude who I love.
John Hodgman.
Oh, yes. Doughboys. I was laughing at that episode he was on.
Oh, wait. I've got another question. When we did, I'm just thinking about this right now. When we did Planes, Trains, people wanted us to identify which one of us was which.
Well, you're Steven already, so you're Steve Martin.
Okay. I think we landed pretty steadily on the fact that who is who in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Which one of us is Buzz and which one of us is Woody?
Oh, dude, that's good.
Who do you relate to more?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I am Mrs. Nesbit.
Oh man, you're talking about the greatest scene in all of cinematic history, Mrs. Nesbit.
Yeah, I don't really know who I relate to more. What about you?
I think I relate to Woody more, because of my childhood competition with Alex. He shows up.
Yep. He's Buzz.
He's Buzz.
He showed up
very
on the scene.
Cool. Yeah.
Yep.
He tells it like it is. He's extremely capable and good at whatever he does.
Yep.
And the people around us are always like, cool, when they see him or hear him, right? Like, and we're on Andy's bed, and all of a sudden everyone's crowded around him, and I'm like, wait a minute. What about me?
Hey, what about me? Yeah.
I think I love the scene where Buzz realizes he's not unique.
Oh man, dude, the commercial, Al's Toy Barn.
That actually might be my favorite scene of the movie.
Yep.
When it goes, not a flying toy.
Yeah.
And he's been trying to convince everyone that he actually can fly the whole time.
Yes. It's like,
there's something there that I relate to where I'm like, maybe it's okay not to be completely unique, and maybe I need to embrace that. Maybe this is another genius part of the movie. You can go back and forth and relate to both characters. I don't know.
Yep. Like, totally. I see both. I can see moments where I'm both, and I can see Andy. I related to Andy. I guess in all this time, I related to that scene with Andy going to college.
Okay.
Like, I remember again going, like, being at my mom's house, packing up, just gotten married, and Chad was there, and we had the moving truck out front, and I was leaving my mom's to head to New York. And like, it felt like that, like, just that moment, that watershed moment. And I guess I relate to Andy. Maybe.
Andy, Toy Story 3. Yeah. So I will tell you who I relate to most is Jessie, Toy Story 2.
Okay.
Because when we were watching it, she was singing "When She Loved Me," and I was like, Jack, don't, just because you grow up, don't leave me, don't abandon me. And he's like, Dad, I won't. But I mean, all of these movies are about aging, right, and losing your kids and them moving on, and so that's interesting that, like, you're relating to Andy, Toy Story 3. I feel this visceral connection to Jessie, Toy Story 2, where she just wants to be loved and is afraid of abandonment,
and has a great song playing on top.
Oh yeah.
Dude, let me do my second stricken for the record real quick.
Okay, do it.
They move way too quickly. Like, we just moved a year ago.
Oh, I thought you meant the movie moves quickly. The family moves quickly.
Yeah.
Because I was going to take umbrage with the movie moves quickly. Hour and 17 is the perfect length of a movie for me.
Yep. Well, no, it leaves you wanting more.
Yeah, definitely.
It's beautiful. It's tight as heck. No, they, like, the scene. His okay, like, the way sequentially it works out. They're in his room. They go to Pizza Planet.
Yeah.
They come home.
Yep.
And they move the next morning.
Right, because Buzz and Woody are stuck at Sid's.
Yeah, like, he has a birthday party, like, the day before or, like, the week before. What? None of these friends are bummed they're moving.
How much time goes by? Because he has to put all those new posters up and get new bed sheets.
Okay, that Erin took umbrage with that because she was like, "You're not gonna do all that right before you move."
Oh, that's a good point. Your mom is not buying you a new comforter a week before you move.
She said that exact thing, dude.
That's funny.
But the fact that they couldn't find the toys.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they moved without them. Me as a parent, I'd be freaking out. I'd be like, okay, I already have the cold sets that we can't find this, but when you do the move, you always find stuff.
Would you have bought him a new Buzz?
Yeah.
Instead, I found him.
That's why we have 2 Elmos. Lily listens to the podcast, by the way. She's listened to every episode. She's listened to Back to the Future 3 times. Hi, Lily. Are you
revealing secrets here? You have 2 Elmos.
Yeah, she totally knows. We bought whenever we bought a Lovey like that important, we bought an extra. So that teddy bear, we would have had 2 of those.
A Lovey, you said?
Yeah, that's what we called them, like a stuffy, a Lovey, a
special stuffed animal or doll. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so we had 2 Elmos. I took one on tour with me. I had it in my suitcase. And then the Thomas.
Yeah.
Like we had a few of those, but there's the original cast.
Right.
The one, but it was that feel like if you lost it.
Yeah.
Like, so I was thinking of that too. Like I would have been on Amazon ordering a new Buzz and Woody.
Yeah.
See, Buzz would be, okay, my guess is Buzz would be about $20. Woody would be like 120 used, maybe. Well, 200.
And we find out in Toy Story 2 that he's basically one of a kind.
Right. Okay, that's why that was in my head. In
an incredible sequel move where they flip it, right? In Toy Story 1, Buzz finds out he's one of a million and he has to deal with that. In Toy Story 2, Woody finds out he is the one.
Oh, that's incredible.
I'm like, I've got goosebumps. I'm just figuring that out. The perfect sequel because they flip it.
Yep. That's incredible.
Yeah. But we have pulled that also. Like, oh, I found him behind the couch. And they're like, thank you. And everything's solved.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. My thing stopped again.
Uh-oh.
I think I just got another call. Hold on.
Okay.
I said that's incredible. Hold on. Sorry.
We're doing good. We're almost done with evidences.
Yep. Goosebumps. Shoot. This rules.
What timestamp were you at?
1:23:38.
Okay.
I said that's incredible. We can just start right there and close it. You ready?
Yeah. There? Okay, good. Yep, I'm ready.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, click. Let's clap one more time. So okay. 1, 2, 3. Incredible.
All right, dude. We should go to kind of this last category.
Okay.
Chunk in. I'm calling it What It Started. So several people wrote, Try Mama, Connie, Squirrel 1979 wrote that it's perfect because it spawned those perfect sequels. Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 is the best trilogy ever made. Only a perfect movie could spawn such sequels. There was a lot of chatter around that. Like you had to have a foundation to build on. To get, I mean, when you watch Toy Story, you're like, oh yeah, Jessie and Bullseye are not in this.
Right.
There's a world that was built around this that you just think was always there. Right. Yep. That's how good the sequels are. It's a very Back to the Future 2 type thing. Like, well, of course the car flies. Well, of course there's hoverboard, but none of that is in the first movie until the very end of the first movie. But there's so much imagery that's part of what you think of when you think of Back to the Future that didn't exist in that first one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And things that you can like that are familiar, things that are new. I mean, like even like that's what's cool about the old games and toys being in there is it grounds you in reality of like now, like that's part of like it did always exist. Like Candyland. That was a funny like joke when they were like, it's a board game, game.
Battleship. Like, they were so glad it was Battleship because it didn't compete with them.
Right.
Yeah. Then did you see them playing Battleship later? I think it's Ham and Potato Head playing Battleship.
Yes.
And
Yep.
he had missed every single one except for where the battleships were like I've played Battleship like that, where you group them all together in one chunk and just hope nobody's going to get close to that.
Totally.
It's so rich with like, everybody knows what this is. And
Uh-huh.
you're like, yeah, that's how I play Battleship. So good.
It grounds it in the real world a little bit.
Right.
And just, iconic stuff like the wallpaper or the
Mhm.
clouds. Actually, that's what I was going to say as one of my evidences was the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Love those clouds.
we've been driving we just did this road trip, and I'm like, Toy Story clouds. Like when you have that, it's either Toy Story clouds or Simpsons clouds.
Okay. Yeah.
Like when you look up and you see the perfect blue sky with just, I'm sure there's whatever the scientific name
Cumulonimbus. I can't remember if that's the right.
That's what I was thinking. Is that it from a movie? Cumulonimbus.
I just remember learning about clouds in a class at some point. I pulled it out. Then there's the wispy ones, are Simpsons clouds, right? Because they part.
Yeah.
Simpsons. It's all wispy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
There's just so much iconic imagery. Even just the color palette, the primary colors.
Mm-hmm.
And like I texted you last night when we were watching it. It's like, I just want to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
When we were watching it. You could smell when you see the primary colors,
Mm-hmm.
you see the ball, you see the clouds. I'm like,
yeah, that Pixar ball. Yep.
I just want to be at Disney World.
That's exactly how they want you to feel. They did it.
They did it. They freaking did it. Like somehow Randy Newman's voice makes me want to, go spend thousands of dollars and like
and eat a lobster roll.
Yep, be hot as heck. Wait for it to rain. Wait it like we always wait it out at like there's where you get the lobster roll right near Beauty and the Beast. You can hang out in the Harbor House.
Yep.
In the afternoon when it rains.
Yeah.
I think I might have told you about that on another episode.
Just a quick Gomer's tip. They sell the Mickey ice cream bars now. I saw it at Safeway and I bought them, and they taste exactly the same. But you're not getting the same experience. But you know the like dilly bars shaped like Mickey's head on a stick.
Yep.
So good. I want to go there.
One last thing about Disney World is like Pizza Planet.
Yeah.
We actually got to go there. It's not there anymore.
Nope. Pizza Planet's closed. I never liked Pizza Planet because I wanted Pizza Planet to be like Pizza Planet on Toy Story, the arcade games. And Pizza Planet at Disney World is just basically like here's your kind of gross pizza. No, go sit over there in that cafeteria table, you dummy.
Again, we were always looking for our place for a kid to nap in the Bob stroller.
Okay. I will give Pizza Planet that. It is a great place to nap.
Like, it's air conditioned.
Yep.
Yeah, you've got that okay pizza. Although as a kid, you're like, this is the best pizza in the world.
For sure.
When
yes.
Anything Disney.
Yep. Laura also said it changed the world of animation. I just mentioned Scoob, but I mean, right? I mean, what? There is no. I mean, your Princess and the Frog, was that the last one? And it was a big deal where it's like, we actually drew this.
Yeah.
But now everything is computer generated.
Disney's even in on the game. So like Frozen is not Pixar.
Right.
But
which I never quite understood, right? Like I think it's because Disney wanted to keep doing musicals, and they knew that was a big deal for them, and Pixar has never wanted to do that.
Got it.
And so for Disney to be able to keep putting things out like Tangled and which I think was originally a Pixar property, and Frozen, Pixar's like, no, we don't want to, and they had enough power at that point to be able to say no. And so then Disney was like, I guess we'll just start our own and still own Pixar. I don't think they own Pixar. I think I don't know quite what the deal is.
Yep.
It's a Star Wars deal, right? It's a Marvel Universe deal where it's underneath. Yeah. They just acquire things.
That's another thing Steve Jobs is freaking good at too.
Yeah.
Is like, remember he saw like somebody, I don't know, it was Xerox or something like that, had kind of like a clicker sort of like mouse thing. And he's like, that's genius. Okay, we need one of those. Put one button on it, and then like write a program, and then do graphic user interface, sort of like these dudes. Like, like you can have the idea. Wait, didn't you say? Alex said no. Alex, you bought it, I sold it, or you
said it, I sold it. That's
yes.
I mean, that's what we used to do. I mean, it's from high school. It's from our friend Matt Love, where if somebody says something quietly and it's funny, then the person's friend says it loud and gets a big laugh in the room.
Right.
Then you have to say to the whisperer, you said it, I sold it. And that person has to say, yep, you're right. I mean, I can't fault you for it. You did it. So that Steve Jobs, his whole life was, you said it, I sold it.
You said it, I sold it. Totally. That's it.
Yeah. Yep. My dad, B. Grauman, on Instagram.
Wow.
Said it started the Pixar run that still continues. So not only did it kind of make it start Toy Stories, right? Not only did it change animation, but there's something about, like you were saying, this is who we are, and it's always going to be who we are. We're about heart.
Yep.
We strive for visual excellence, but if the story isn't there, we're not going to do it. Now, there's a couple misfires, but I would say 20 of the 23 are movies that I love.
Yep. That's
pretty impressive.
Yeah, when you try to make that list 1 to 23, like, I mean, it's like Inside Out, perfect movie. I think about it all the time.
Yep.
But like Monsters, like you were saying, Monsters Inc. years ago, you were like, one of the most original ideas you'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. It's a movie about monsters in a closet. That's interesting, but that it's powered by screams. Their society is powered by screams, and so they have celebrities that live there that are especially good at that.
Yeah.
Like I think I said this too about Toy Story 3 with the tortilla. It makes me mad how good it is. I'm so jealous that I will never have such an idea that I'm boiling, sweating with anger watching these movies because I'm so jealous.
That's awesome. I also love how laughter, right? Joy is even
It turns
more
out
powerful.
that joy is 10 times as powerful. What?
That's a little reminiscent of Ghostbusters 2. Right?
Yeah.
Just that wrath, that
they stole the good slime idea from Ghostbusters 2. I just want to mention this too. We're posting about Toy Story, and Chad comes on. He's like, just so you know, I've never seen any of these movies. Chad can be this guy, right? We love Chad. We feature Chad. But Chad can totally be kind of like, oh, you like that thing? Guess what? I've never seen it. Chad.
Come on.
Usually I let that go. But come on, Chad. I mean, if you want to be a person that has conversations about movies, you can't not watch Pixar movies.
Gotta watch it. Got it.
Yeah.
And maybe he's seen a few and he's just like forgot. Even though he's got the memory, right? Like he remembers everything.
That could be. But don't you think Pixar has left such a footprint?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think of what other studio has done that. Star Wars,
Lucasfilm.
Yeah. I would maybe even say the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the past decade.
Yep.
It's just inescapable, right? And so like I actually feel like this is going to sound so dumb that as a moviegoer, it's important to watch the Big Five, which I have. I mean, what we'll do is we'll do a special bonus episode on the bonus disc where maybe on the result show, which is on the bonus disc. I will
Okay.
reveal
Yep.
my top 5 Pixar movies that kind of
man.
move around but never leave the top 5.
Wow. Okay,
And
I'm
I would say
super duper curious.
Chad needs to watch these top 5 that I'll reveal on the.
So you
on the
don't need to watch all
results.
23,
No,
but watch these 5.
just like
I'll-
the
I'll
Marvel
see-
universe, I can give you the 5 you need to watch in order to understand what's going on.
Okay. Black Panther's up first though.
Yep, for sure.
A couple weeks.
Just one last comment. Cindy said, I could watch Toy Story every day. It is my favorite of all Disney movies. And we've talked about the rewatchability of a movie
Yep.
being, not for nothing, pretty important to our perfect movie ranking. If you can watch it regularly, not get bored, notice new things, feel the emotion again, there's something special about that movie.
Yep. Totally agreed. I maybe you do your 5 and I'll do my rewatchability ranking of these.
That's good. I like that. Yep.
Because I could put 1 through 4 in a different order.
Uh-huh.
And I would not say that number 1 is my most rewatchable.
Okay. I will tell you, number 1 with a bullet, never changes, is Toy Story 2.
Yep.
Can I give you my can I quick give you my stricken from the records? I told you that I
Yes.
love
Oh, yeah.
rules.
Yep, totally. Okay,
My
great.
2 stricken from the records are when rules are broken in this movie.
Okay.
So I do not
okay.
like when Woody talks to Sid.
Okay.
I feel
Got
like
it.
that's a breach of the rules. They never do that again in all 4 of the movies or any of the shorts. They never
Oh.
break that rule again.
Okay, that's it's the prime director from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yep.
From Starfleet. Yeah, totally. The one rule. Yeah.
And so it's a little confusing because I think that
Okay.
that should be a rule that should. I wish he, you know how he talks through his voice box and scares him?
Oh yeah.
I wish they had just stopped with that. When his face moves and he's emoting to Sid, I don't like it. You broke the rules. Sorry. And then the
that
other rule
means that he can break that they are choosing to not, that they can at any time and just don't.
It complicates it too much for me.
Yep.
I think. Never mind. Oh, I think they should die if they do that. There's a Muppets Christmas special that came out in the 80s that we watched a lot called A Christmas Toy. When they are found out of place, these toys, they die.
Dang,
It is an incredibly creepy show. I'll send to you on YouTube sometime.
Wow. But maybe they like Marty McFly or like just disappear or something.
That I would like that too. But he breaks the rules. I don't like that. The other part that breaks the rules is that Woody can fly at the end. I don't love that.
You
I
mean
wish
Buzz?
they had. That's what I mean, right? Buzz can actually fly at the end. I don't like that. That also never happens again in the series. I think if I was really to grill the movie makers, they would regret both of those decisions, because I like even like in Toy Story 2. Sorry, I keep coming back to Toy Story 2, but it is beyond
so
perfect.
Yep.
Woody, when he meets himself, the second Woody.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I keep saying Woody. Buzz. When Buzz meets himself, the second Buzz.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He's doing things in the elevator that make him think he's flying or doing amazing things, but he's not. It's all still controlled by physics. And that's funny and great.
Huh. Yeah.
The fact that Woody and Buzz fly together at the end kind of breaks it for me a little bit.
Okay. He should have.
I wanted them just to fall right back. Yeah. Just fall right back into the sunroof. And that would be
falling
cool.
with style. Because the way he flies at the beginning is very Alex. Like, you shouldn't be able to fly, but somehow, because you bounced off a ball and flew around, and your brother was holding the button on Mega Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somehow he'd figure it out, working within the rules of reality.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that's so much more funny and gets your mind working than all of a sudden there's magic, and he can fly. I like it better when it sticks with the rules, but you know me.
Got it.
I'm a rule follower.
Stricken.
Yep. Okay.
I had one note.
Yep.
That I just remembered that I wrote down here.
Mm-hmm.
They took ones and zeros and moved us to tears.
I like that.
It's magic. It really is.
That should have been their tagline instead of "The toys are back in town." We took ones and zeros, and we will make you cry with them.
Ones and zeros make you move to tears. I don't know.
Ones and zeros are back in town. The ones and zeros are back in town. All right, listener. Now it's up to you. You already voted this in, so I'm assuming that it has a good chance. But we are going to put polls up on Instagram, on Facebook, on our website, and you can vote yes or no. 2 Gomers. You can find it all there. Send us an email, even perfectmoviepodcast@gmail.com, and just tell us yes or no. We're going to find out if Toy Story is a perfect movie. We will reveal those full results on the bonus disc, which you can find on patreon.com/2gomers. And we will also tell you briefly what the results were on our Hamilton episode. Speaking of that, we need to reveal the Just Mercy results.
Ah, that's right. We're
good news.
Yeah.
It's on the list.
Woo!
It's been a while since a movie has gotten onto the list. We talk about that a lot on the episode that's already out right now on the bonus disc, patreon.com/2gomers. You can hear it there. Super encouraging to us to hear everybody's feedback on this kind of new thing we're trying as we learn and grow. But the good news is it got 3 votes. It's on the list. 8 movies now on the list. We're going to do a special episode on the bonus disc when we get to 10 to talk about what the heck we're going to do next. But Just Mercy is a perfect movie.
Great. Awesome, dude.
All right, dude. Great app.
Super fun, man.
I'm going to go hang out with my boys.
All right. That sounds great. We didn't watch Toy Story 2 or 3 yet. I said we were going to do a marathon, and then we just got in one, so I think we'll do 2 and 3 tonight, and I will bring some tissues.
Yeah.
I'll be
amazed. Just marvel at the miracle that is the Toy Story trilogy. I like Toy Story 4, but those 3 movies are where it's at for me.
Toy Story 4 is it's a bonus.
Yeah, it is.
Just bonus. Amazing.
It would be on their Patreon if they had one. All right, dude. Have a great week.
All right, you too, dude.
And happy watching Hamilton.
Woo.
All right, my disc is almost full, so let's stop.
1, 2, 3, stop. Save. Fantastic.
All right, I gotta run.
All right, thanks, dude. Thanks for sticking it out.
Yep.
So long.
So hot. All right. All right, we'll talk to you later.
Oh, you're still recording.
Oh yeah. I'll stop.
Hey,
Can you send me right now that Lose 20 and my MP3 and yours?
Yep. Got it.
Okay. Thanks, dude. All right. Talk to you later.